If this life has one act, why do we lay these tracks? We put them up in our path, and we just want to be free. I will not waste my days making up all kinds of ways to worry about all the things that will not happen to me. So I just let go of what I don't know, and I know I only do this by living in the moment, living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, the peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home, living in the moment. I'm letting myself off the hook for things that I've done. I let my past go past, and now I'm having more fun. I'm letting go of the thoughts that do not make me strong, and I believe this way can be the same for everyone. And if I fall asleep, I know you'll be the one who'll always remind me to live in the moment, to keep living my life easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, peace in my heart, got peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I can't walk through life facing backwards. I have tried. I tried more than once to just let go, and I was denied the future I've been searching for. Has spun around and hurt no more. Hold on.
Ah, Pierre.
There's more. Hold on.
Ah.
Living in the moment, living my life easy and breezy. I got peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home, living in the moment. My drum machine kicked off accidentally. Oh well, it happens.
We're living in the moment.
I was living in the moment.
Right?
My foot was living in the wrong moment because it hit the wrong button. But you know, whatever.
Wrong location, right? Listen, our technical difficulties are done. Let's just let them go. You know, we didn't do our usual little, tech dance.
You know,
right?
that's right. We didn't do that this week.
Yeah, we must. So it'll take care of all this. Listen, living in the moment. Thank you. What a beautiful song. Being free, letting go, putting on like all of it. Just again.
It's a Jason Mraz tune. Great. He does lots of wonderful Science of Mind music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Actually, when you think of some of the greatest hits of all times that actually do are mystical music, lyrics. I mean, we're connected when we write it. It's all part of this universal mind. So that's what makes it connect with people, right? So
exactly.
So it doesn't surprise me. Pierre, thank you so much for opening up with a beautiful song. Sorry to jump in and interrupt. I honestly thought when I saw you bend over, I was like, oh, he's done.
I know. Well, the thing is the button, I usually hit it with my foot, but if something messes up, then I got to go in with my finger because the button's like, this big to reactivate it. I'm like, my foot with a shoe on is not going to work.
Right. Well, glad it's all reconnected. And,
it's all good.
You had a little interlude of Fred in your song. Like I said, we'll do a duet one day. So
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we'll talk to you later, a little bit later on, Pierre.
Okay.
All right. have fun. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Global Truth Center Toronto Wednesday boost, whatever you want to call it, midweek uplift, whatever you want to call it. It's our celebration of love. And so glad that you're bringing your consciousness here right now. Recognize that it's all love. And from that perspective, I just want to invite you to let go of everything that happened before this moment. Become fully present right here, right now. And whether you're watching us live or on stream, I trust and know that you're watching this at the perfect time for you. I trust and know that this hour, this 1 hour gift to yourself, unfolds perfectly for anything that you need it to unfold for. I trust and recognize that there's one divine energy and we're all connected to it. And so right here, right now, living in this truth, knowing this truth, it is with love, a place of love, peace, joy, that all of it comes to fruition and that all of it stays. And our screen is doing something really funky right now. So Nick, I think you're live streaming. So if you could just turn off your live stream right now, that'd be awesome. We're just bouncing around a little bit. Back to me, I think. Anyway, so just let everything grow, including that little interlude. Let it all go and just be present in this moment, trusting and knowing that right here, right now is right where you belong. So grateful for your showing up. So grateful for our ability to broadcast this out to you. And so grateful also for your consciousness that you're bringing here. I release it, I let it go, and I trust and know that it's going to land exactly as it needs to. And from that perspective of staying in this centered moment, I'm going to be doing the meditation tonight because we're going to be doing a wonderful conversation with the incredible Rev Lesya, who is joining us tonight, and she'll be joining us after the meditation. So I invite you right now to just sit wherever you are and just feel the energy of the room or the space that you're in. And just know that as we do this meditation for the next 10 or 15 minutes, that everything around you is in perfect order. That anything that needs to be released is being released right here and right now. Ernest Holmes defines freedom or freedom of thought as releasing everything that no longer serves your highest good and making room for the truth. That inner truth, that place of where you are, from wherever you are. Just become fully present. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in and release them. And as we take our deep breath in, visualize love, light, peace, joy. And then when you release your breath, imagine releasing everything that no longer serves your highest good. For me, the color yellow, pink, red. Then the breath in represents love. And it tends to be darker colors as I release that breath. So let's take 3 deep breaths in together. Breathe in. And release everything that no longer serves. Another breath in. Release everything that no longer serves. Together, another breath in. And we release. As you sit in this moment, feel your feet connected to the floor. Recognize that this connection keeps you grounded. Recognize that your legs are connected to your feet that are connected to the floor. Allow yourself to feel that connection. Now, as you move on up to your hips, feel the connection to the seat that you're sitting in, and to the legs, to the feet, to the floor. Move on up your spine. Feel that connection to your hips, to your legs, and to the floor. Feel your arms that are connected to your shoulders and connected to your spine, to your hips, to your legs, and to the floor. Now feel that connection to your neck, to your face, relaxing all tension, releasing all energy, just feeling connected to the top of your head. To your arms, to your shoulders, your spine, your hips, to your legs, to the floor. In this state of connectedness, feel the space around you. It's all energy. Just like our breath as we breathe in and we exhale. That exchange of energy is happening all around us all the time. So as we release everything that no longer serves us, that goes into the world. The foundation of everything is love. And so the key to releasing anything that no longer serves is to release it from a place of love, a place of gratitude, a place of forgiveness, and a place of kindness. As we release everything that we define ourselves as, we make space for the things that we wish to have. We make space for the person we are meant to be. When we think of the 4 pillars of our life, health, release all health concerns, all definitions that we've made for ourselves around our health. And visualize and make room for the things, the ideas, desire for better health. Sit in that truth for a moment. I release and I am free to choose what it is that I desire for my health. And now for finance or abundance or wealth. Release all the old stories that tell you that there's lack, that you don't have enough. Make room for the truth. Make room for the truth that wealth is a state of mind. And recognize that as I release and let go, I am making room for all the abundance I desire. Creative expression. What is it that it's mine to do? My work, my vocation is not who I am. I release all attachment to the definition of who I am based on my vocation. I am free to choose my own creative expression. To allow the love that is in me to be expressed however it needs to be expressed. And the final pillar is relationship. Release all attachment to relationships that are no longer serving your highest good. It is okay to release the story of those relationships. And it is okay to make room for new relationships. I choose freely all of the experiences, all of the relationships in my life, all the connections to everyone I meet. I am free to choose them in a loving, kind way. And in this place of release, listen to these words. As you release things that are negative, also release the things into the world that you desire into the world. Release love to the world. Allow these words to concretize. My love goes out to everyone in the world. I do not exclude anything. For I love all nature and everything that is. My love warms and lightens everything that it touches. And it goes out into all places. The love flowing through me the power to all who come into contact with it. And all feel and know that I love. Love within me is complete and perfect. Love within me is complete. And that. And welcome back to this space. Namaste.
So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share, I will share, I will share, I will share this love. This love, this love, this love.
Thank you, Pierre. Oh, thank you for sharing this love. That was wonderful.
It's nice to share.
Just what I needed on top of the meditation, just to help guide me back to this present moment. So thank you so much for that. It's been a long time since we've heard that song. So
yes, it's nice to bring it back.
Thank you for bringing it back. Absolutely. And I guess we'll chat a little bit later. We'll see you
absolutely.
Later. All right. Enjoy. So as I mentioned, just as I began the meditation, I am so extremely grateful to have the opportunity to invite the newly minted. I mean, what do they say? You still got that fresh new car smell, Minister, on you. Welcome, Rev Lasia. First of all, welcome back to the Toronto community. You've never really left. And welcome back. What a journey it's been for you. And we'll catch up with that journey in a little bit for sure. We're going to, I just can't wait to hear. I can't wait for you to share your story. It's such an amazing story. And right now, what I thought that we would do is basically talk a little bit about the theme this month.
Yeah, sure.
If you're good with that. And then we'll get into all the other stuff that's going on. So our theme this month is release. Has that brought anything up for you?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. And so I think you and I had a conversation yesterday or the day before. And I think for me, the biggest sort of shift in terms of release over the last few months, actually it was probably about a year ago, because I did a talk for Unity, where release was the thing that I was talking about. And as I was coming up with, just allowing for whatever was coming up for the talk, it really hit me that release is not just about letting go. And you mentioned this in the meditation, it's also about allowing. And why this didn't dawn on me, until that time, I don't know, because in treatment, that's like, we release so that we can allow, for whatever it is that is happening to happen. So there's been a lot of releasing in terms of letting go, and a lot of just allowing and surrendering, especially in the last few months, as I have just gotten closer and closer, and then ultimately past the finish line of ministerial studies.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, in your ministerial studies, so I can only relate because as, having gone through that process. So what did you release in your life that brought you to this place of being, Revelacia? What happened? What did you release there?
Well, honestly, the last few months, it was on Valentine's Day. This whole year, it has just been, eye on the prize sort of thing, and just, ministerial. But really, it's been in the last 6 months, let's say, there was just a moment where I really decided, like consciously decided, I am all in. I mean, talk about living in the moment, like Pierre was singing about. Like, I want to be fully and completely present for every single moment of this final ministerial class experience. And so on Valentine's Day, it wasn't specifically because it was Valentine's Day, it just happened that way. I decided no TV till June. And that was a very conscious choice to let go of watching television. Because even though I would watch maybe 1 to 2 hours a day, it was a distraction. It was a distraction that pulled me out of the present moment. It was a distraction that I thought, oh, I need a break. I need to decompress. And then one day I'm like, decompress from what? I signed up for this. Like, I want to be fully present for every single feeling that is bubbling up. I want to be present for the, shedding of whatever it is I don't want to bring with me across the finish line. I want to be fully present to the sweet, the sour, and everything in between. So there were more, distractions that I let go of along the way, but it was that conscious choice to just release, so that I can release, along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. And a simple act of something that's so definitive, like getting rid of something that's we feel is so important in our lives. I love the way that you say that, by the way, that what am I bringing past the finish line? I love that expression. I also love the idea of, of saying it's not a discipline. And the thing is, I think a lot of people, because I think that at some point when we're studying, and it doesn't have to be ministerial, it doesn't matter what it is, when we're studying, where we go, I signed up for this. And I think that's at the moment where that white surrender flag almost surrendered to holding on to this is hard, right? Or what am I doing? Or what am I thinking? At some point for all of us in our studies, whatever it happens to be, but for us it was ministerial, that white flag goes up and it's like, I'm done. I'm surrendering. I am letting in and letting out. And, and the thesis is hard. In ours, it was funny because there were about 5 of us. And if I said their names, you'd be, no way. But there were 5 of us that really studied a lot together. And 4 of the 5 of us, no, there were 6 of us actually. And 4 of the 6 of us said, we're not doing our thesis anyway. It doesn't really matter. We're just studying for ourselves.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Well, I won't announce anybody's name publicly, but and I remember thinking, how could you do that? How could you just come this far and then not want to do that? But it was like when you surrender and go, no, hold on, I did sign up. And so that's a beautiful moment. And I'm glad it happened in February because, I think mine happened in March and we were done in June. So everybody has their own timeline with that, but that's you have to release that for sure. And you alluded to this a little bit too, but just as a practitioner, because we have practitioners at the center and some are able to participate right now, some are going through some life experiences that are keeping them away from actually participating in the services. But, as a practitioner, how do we use release? And you alluded to it slightly, but how do we use release in a treatment, say, for example?
Yeah, well, that is a form of letting go in order to allow. That is about just completely full on trusting and surrendering that whatever the intention for the treatment, whatever it is that we know, it is a done deal. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to micromanage. We don't have to get in there and kind of like, is it happening? Is it happening yet? Are we there yet? Kind of thing. It's just done. Let it go, trust and know. And for me, that's what the release is all about. It's just, don't try and, mess with it. It's done. No, trust.
So how many times in a treatment, or have you done treatment? And I've done so many treatments, and someone will touch base with me 2 months later. That was really great. And you remember this? And I'm thinking, I don't remember. When I say, and so it is, I will treat if it takes 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And anybody online or anybody who watches this know how I do treatment. I will treat until I know it's done. And then once I release it, it's gone. And I know that there's something else coming in there. I know there's something coming in to fill that space, the desired outcome. What does it feel like? What does it look like? That's not mine to determine, right? Yeah. And I love how you say you don't have to go back and dig it up and look at it, because truthfully, the trust is, and the understanding is that treatment is a movement of energy for a desired outcome. So trusting that desired outcome is happening means letting go of it. Yeah. And truly that is in the release. So bang on, so wonderful. So for anybody who's listening, anybody who's with us tonight, or whenever you happen to be watching this, and you're wondering what treatment is, that is quintessential what treatment is. So we have now cleared that up. God bless you.
That sounds so weird. Yeah.
I told you, it's the new car rev scent, right?
Yeah. Or and I said a breaking in of a new pair of shoes. Flu log specifically, if anyone is interested. That's my favorite kind of.
Well, there you go. Well, you're breaking them in well. And tonight is a great launching pad for that with GTCT, because I know you've got other work, but we'll talk about all that stuff in a minute. So it's interesting because our statement this month does not include the word release, because, and I know, and so I really contemplated it, because I think that true freedom comes from release. And actually, Ernest Holmes, I looked up freedom in this book, and he talks about basically, you have to release what your beliefs, you have to release all attachment to everything, and then that's when you're free to allow all of the things to come in. So and it's a choice. I mean, we can hold, there are things that I can hold on to that are comfortable to me that may not be the best for me, right? And I'm free to choose that too. And so that's how the statement came about. That's how our statement came about, which does not include the word release, because you have to release in order to get to the true free part of whatever it is. So I invite you to say, and you're welcome to add the word release if you'd like, but I invite you to because I literally thought, should I add it? I mean, I was like, should I? Well, I kind of thought no, but then I'm thinking maybe yes, I don't know. But anyway, if you would read our affirmation, and we usually do it where you'll read it once and then read it a second time, and everybody can read it with you. Okay. And we trust that energy is happening whoever and whenever they're listening.
All right. So then I invite everyone to just receive a big life affirming breath in. And as you release that breath, I invite you to listen to this. I am free to be whatever I choose. So let that sink in. And then we're going to do it together with all the energy and enthusiasm that you can muster. Okay, here we go. I am free to be whatever I choose.
Let that fill the space. And I also almost added with love, because yes, we're free to choose. But when we put that little with love in there, I always think, like, for me, the entire journey of ministry was all about love. And it was all about embodying and and building on that foundation of love. So even things like grief, my thesis was on grief, the gift in grief, right? And so when grief came into my life really, really strong, I just said, it's built on the foundation of love. So it's okay to crack. It's okay to be in difficulty. It's okay to be, not okay, because the foundation is love. And as long as I could move from here down to this heart space, I always could get out of it. And I always felt safe to go into those rooms in the house of grief, right? The room of anger, which it took me a long time to realize that, when I was angry at something, I was really angry in, it was really part of the process, right? But, suddenly I'm like, yelling at the squirrel that's climbing the tree in the backyard, going, how come you're on my tree? And I'm thinking, where's that anger coming from, right? Like it was nonsensical things, but it was built. And then I went, no, this is part of the grieving process, is that you're going to be in anger, and you're going to be in sadness, and you're going to be, in disconnected. You're going to be in, so we said 5 stages. There's hundreds of stages to grief that are unexplored. I could build a whole new chapter just on that in my thesis. So building on that foundation of love always. So now tell me about your journey through ministry a little bit. Like, what brought you to all of this, to being, to this place of Revlesia?
Well, I gotta say, I still remember, and I write about it in my book, when Glenn and Milana and I first walked into CSL Toronto, way back when, 7 years ago at this point. And I remember Lena did the meditation, Sonia did the power talk, and then Reverend Jonathan, now Dr. Jonathan, was the minister there. And I also realized that, oh my gosh, a bunch of these people here are my clients at the bakery that I had at Queen and Broadview. And from the very first moment that we set foot in there, I just felt at home. And we just felt this incredible, genuine enthusiasm and joy, and we're so happy you're here, from everyone that we met. And then I was really, really just taken by the message that I heard that day and that I felt. And so we just kept coming back, and it was only a few weeks in that I thought, I want to know more. And so I talked to Jonathan and asked him about classes. And as soon as I signed up for classes, thought, oh, I think maybe I want to go the spiritual practitioner path, because I really want to learn more, for me, but also this sounds like it could really help some people, but really for me. And then in the very first class, like my first class was Foundations for Better Living. And the first class that I had here, after we moved to Victoria, sitting at the kitchen table, which was actually my Hobart table from the bakery, in the class, we did a visioning. And during that visioning, I experienced the call to ministry. And, talk about love, which you were just talking about. The question that was asked was, what is the highest vision for my life? And it was to love. That was it. That's my life's purpose, to love. And then the next question ended up being, and how can I best do that? And the phrase that came was to become a minister, which shocked me. I'm like, what? Like, I'm just like a few sessions in here sort of thing. What is that all about? And then, interestingly enough, it wasn't until I was writing my book several years later for Advanced Consciousness Studies that I remember that when I was a little girl, I wanted to become a Ukrainian Catholic priest. But couldn't, because I'm a girl, and that's not going to happen. Right. So it just, to love and to become a minister, and that just, set the trajectory. Had no idea that trajectory would sort of present and reveal itself the way that it did. Studying with Dr. James for 5 years and having Dr. Jonathan as my first teacher, and then a few teachers here at CSL Victoria, just extraordinary. And then to have the opportunity to do the Advanced Consciousness Studies class when it first came out as well. It's just been incredible, mind-blowing, heart-opening, soul-expanding. But it ultimately came right back down to love. And that's what my final ministerial talk was about about self-love and how we can so freely and easily give love to our children, to our spouses, to our pets, to someone on the street. Yet, how often do we really, truly, wholly, 100% embody that love that we truly are and really feel it towards ourselves? And that was something that came up for me in the last few months, largely in part due to this book by Tara Brach, Radical Acceptance, which was part of the final class that Dr. James taught at GTC. And so that book and everything we were going through and all of the preparations, we had a study group, we had a ministerial salon that met 6 times a week to get ready for that exam.
Oh my gosh, and I thought we were radical at 5, 4.
Yeah.
4.
And so, you know, in reading that book, it was like, I have permission to fall apart. I have permission to completely unravel as I'm going through this monumental experience, just transformation, transcendence, whatever word, like there are no words that can describe like the feeling and the experience itself. But to have the permission, you know, to like, just let it all go, you know, cry, weep, scream, yell, enjoy, love, you know, celebrate, like just be present for it all. And so those last 3 months of ministerial for me were like the most epic ever. And then to be celebrated and to be just like loved up and challenged and stretched even further during our ministerial retreat at Global Truth Center, Los Angeles, to meet my classmates and community for the first time in person after like watching stuff online for 7 years was just mind-blowing. The squeals of delight and shrieks and everything were hilarious. And it was very surreal for about half a day, just like, yes, we are here in the flesh. We can touch each other. We can hug each other. We can just, So it was, yeah. And now it's just, you know, here we all are at the stages that we're all at. And I have stuff that I've been doing that I'll do more of. And now there are opportunities that are presenting themselves, which I am just so excited about. And then there's a really big thing that came up in a meditation with Reverend Rita from CSL Kauai. And that's what I'm going to be also working on for maybe the next 3 years or so. So just lots. But ultimately love. And then it also, and I'm sure you can relate to this, it's now a way of life. It's not just a hat I wear on a certain day of the week when I do a talk or teach a class or a workshop or work with clients. Ministry, like Dr. Liza said in her 10 talk, when you guys did your talks, ministry is a verb. It's a verb. It is a state of being. It is a way of life.
And it's an action, and it's as internal as it is external. It is always, and within that realm of love, I mean, really, we've chosen a path of service to some degree. And that I hold that very sacred. Like I hold that space very sacred. So if I'm not holding myself to the same standards of love, kindness, and, you know, and the world will throw stuff. I mean, there are things that come at me that I think, where is that coming from? But I go to that place of love and say, again, I can fall apart. I can do all of those things. And I think that's one thing that we've experienced on an elevated level because we're here to study it. But I also think that even people who are not studying this philosophy necessarily, but are just, you know, walking in for the first time or experiencing something that they're going, hey, this makes a lot of sense. Like we did when we walked in, it's like, whoa, where's that universal truth? I think in everybody's everyday life, they can apply that, the very thing that propelled you and compelled me to move forward while I was going through the process. That very same thing everyone can do in their own lives. And I think that's the beauty of this philosophy, is it comes at you from where you are. So where you walk into ministry is not where you walk out of ministry. Yeah. When you are, you know, when you have a child, before you have a child, and then you have a child and you go, holy cow, I've never experienced that kind of love, you know, or, you know, whatever it happens to be, or grief, or love in all of its forms, that anybody can apply this to their life and come to that place of love. how did you, I mean, because one of the things I think that can be a challenge when you're, I mean, because we're steeped in it, it's every day. There's not a day that I don't wake up, and I've been doing this for years, even before I found this philosophy, where my feet don't hit the floor and I go, oh, another day. My mom was 28 when she passed away. She went to bed. I went to bed Sunday night, woke up Monday morning, and she was gone. And there's not a day in my life that my feet don't hit the floor and I don't don't feel gratitude every single day. Even if I'm, maybe have indulged too much in, partaken too much in partying or whatever. That has happened on occasion, less now. But, it doesn't matter. There's not a day that I don't give gratitude or feel that sense of love. And now it is a complete way of life and everything. I can't even have an argument that I can get away with anymore. I mean, I get upset. I have a nephew who's living with me, and I can get upset at him momentarily. And then all of a sudden the tree starts going, psh, 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 love, love, love. And I'm going, stop it. I just want to be able to. So yeah. I bring it down, and next thing you know, I'm in this state of peace and calm and having a rational conversation going, this is from a loving place. I want your life to be better. This isn't about me. I immediately can move myself out of the equation, right? Yeah. But it's because it's, what did God on demand, which is the definition of God, right? Just being able to just go, boom, consciousness on demand. Here I am, COD. Yeah. Right, and practicing it so well for so long that we get to that place in our life, and it's a great place to live from, I think, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so many layers. So tell us a little bit more about your life. Listen, you talked about some opportunities. What are some? You've got a book. You've got, you've got. I know you're working with Unity. You're working with another center. You're going to be a guest minister here, which our community is already looking forward to. I know that. And we're just in that building phase. Like we're in the phase. I'm pretty straightforward about where we are on the journey as Global Truth Center Toronto. But so tell me more about these opportunities and how you see it unfold.
Well, so like early days, fresh out of the oven, a little bun, am I? And so the
a big bun, but yeah, a little bun.
one of my favorite things that I have been, oh gosh, okay, there's lots of things, but one of the things I'm very grateful for, which I know was really, really helpful for me in terms of just being able to speak on a regular basis, is the Victoria Truth Center here is just an independent New Thought, not just an independent New Thought community, and they've been around for a while. And so one of the board members, directors on the board, found Glenn's and my podcast on YouTube one day, listened to the episode, and got in touch with me and said, hey, would you like to come and talk at our center? I kind of like what you guys were talking about during your podcast. And I said yes. It took about a year before I actually ended up getting in there. Some of that had to do with COVID. And so I've been fortunate enough to be one of the Sunday speakers once a month since December. And now, as of this month, it's changing to twice a month, which is fun. And I'm excited about that. So I'm very curious to see what that community is interested in terms of growth and development, because the space that the community meets in is beautiful. It is such a lovely church. I think it might have been a Lutheran church at one point, but just bright windows, like warm and inviting. And it has a lovely organ, which apparently works. But it's welcoming, like that same feeling that I felt when I, stepped into CSL Toronto. Just, we're so happy that you're here. And so I'm looking forward to exploring what's possible there. Glenn and I are also co-founders of a community called the Center of Love, and we just celebrated our first anniversary and had our first annual retreat on the weekend. And that is a really, really neat community because there's a lot of discussion. So there is a host, there is a speaker, there is a short 10-minute talk, a 10-minute meditation, and then there's this 30-minute conversation that takes place in smaller groups where people can just digest and chew and marinate and integrate and share and learn and support. And it's been really, really conducive to having people get to know each other. So it's, and it's growing, which
Right.
is, so it's really interesting to see, okay, how is that going to, unfold? And what's super cool is it's happening out of someone's home right now, right? And it's like bursting at the seams with, all
Right.
the bodies that are in there and online.
Well, a lot of people don't know that's how New Thought actually started. It was conversation in people's homes.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Niagara, I had the same vision for here. I mean, of course, the world was not, there was no COVID. There was when I bought this house, but that was my vision for here. I thought, oh, we've got GTC Toronto. I'll do like an extension on Wednesday nights out here
Yeah.
in my living room, and I'll find the people in the community, and we'll all come together. We'll pick a paragraph and the philosophy. So I love that concept. That'll be interesting to see how that grows for sure.
Well, it just, and I mean, for me, I love being in class. I really, really do. Because for me, the magic happens in the conversation. And so to be able to have conversation and engage with the community in that way, I think is really, really special. And it's not like that everywhere. And so I feel very blessed and fortunate to be part of that community. And then there's other stuff. And I will just throw out Caravan of Love is the big project that I'm going to work on for, the next however many years. And I'll talk more about that as it unfolds. But now it's this like vision, this big, juicy vision in mind. And it's already starting to percolate and bubble up to the surface. So.
And we know that's how things go. I mean, I read Ernest Holmes every day. I've got my daily readings that I do, but I was reading about vision, and he talked about the vision and how it becomes clear, how literally it's like imprinting into the universe.
Yeah.
Then it's imprinted and it comes back, and the more we focus on it, the stronger the image becomes. The stronger the image becomes, the more we move into that. But that's a whole other talk.
What we focus on expands.
Right. What we focus on expands, right? So you and I sing from the same hymn book for sure. And, I look forward to it. And I know that, we've talked about the possibility of you doing some, not only just guest minister, but also anything that you could do for the Global Truth Center Toronto. You're always welcome if something comes up, that. But also, you're also
I'll
going
be
to be
writing notes already.
I know, I know. And I cannot wait to explore those with you. But also, you also talked about your book, and I think there may be some opportunities for you to do some classes or some seminars on Sunday or something, perhaps with some members of the community. We do have a lot of members of the Global Truth Center Toronto that are active on in classes and things. So
Yeah.
I look forward to I know. I look so forward to releasing all of that beautiness, all of that love, all of that energy, that education, that wisdom, that infinite wisdom, and all from that place of love. I look forward to sharing more of that with you, Lesia. And we've talked several times, actually, even throughout the end of your ministry, your ministerial studies, we had a chance to talk and catch up. And I just think you're an amazing person. I think I'm so grateful that you have taken up ministerial and the serving. And I love your experience. I did not get to meet all of the people that I studied with, even as of today. I've met several of them, but not all of them. So that's still on my bucket list as well, to get to LA and to meet all these people and to stand on stage with James again. I was on with him in the desert in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I got to do a little bit of a presentation with James, and that was a lot of fun. That was just to be in front of people again. It was like, oh yeah, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Right now I stare at a screen and it's fabulous, and I trust the energy is going out. But there's nothing like feeling that energy being reciprocated as you're, standing there, as you well know, and as you're expressed. So thank you so much for joining me, and you'll be back in a few minutes. I'm just going to do a few announcements, and then we'll touch base again. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. And to everyone else, I just wanted to say that this is the time that we talk about giving, and it's all giving and receiving are the same thing. It's all part of the same thing. And I call it energy, and I call energy love, and I call any energy. So money is energy is love. So give from that place of love. If you can help us out any way that you could do it, a small amount, time, treasure, talent, whatever that is, please go ahead and donate. You can do it at the globaltruthcenter.com website. There's a donate button there. You can also go to info@globaltruthcenter.com if you want to send if you want to send an e-transfer. And there's also a PayPal option there as well. And if for any reason you cannot, just let us know, reach out. We'll make sure that we honor your desire to help us out. That would be really wonderful. While you're there at our website, sign up for our community newsletter. Don't miss a newsletter every week. They come out on Tuesday, a day before the thing. We do have another event coming up in August, another opportunity for our community to get together. And more information will follow on that. That's coming from Hester, but more information will come. We're just going to tie a neat bow on it. And at this point, I would just like to thank Nicholas Martelli, who's helping us in the background. And just know, you know, it always seems so easy until it doesn't. And so when there's little glitches and things like that, well, that's okay too. It's all part of broadcasting. It's, you know, it's part of being live. And so thank you, Nick, for all that you're doing in the background here today. Much appreciated. To the amazing and wonderful musician, Pierre, who always honors us every week with his talent and his beautiful, incredible talent. And for, you know, whipping us up with some new songs tonight, Pierre. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And bringing back some of the old favorites. Not that there's anything wrong. Lesia, we had a community event, and Pierre was the headline at a concert. And I've got to tell you, his songs were so well received. And at one point during the concert, he said, you know, he said that you may have noticed that my songs are all about, you know, love and positivity. And everybody went, oh. It was like, you know, we're looking around going, yeah, we know every word. Like, we're his singing backup group, you know, eating food, having cocktails, and listening to him up there on the stage. It really was a wonderful event. But Pierre, you always bring that energy. Thank you. And
thanks.
And Rev Lesia, I am so grateful that you're here. We've talked about this for months now almost, because we talked about it while you were still in ministerial school. And I never doubted for a moment that your energy, that your presence would be felt here in Toronto. I never, you know, lost sight of that for a second. So I'm just so glad that we're materializing it, focused on it.
Me too. Thank you.
and more of that to come, for sure. So thank you so much, Lesia, as well. And to you, the community, thank you for watching whenever you happen to be watching and paying attention, and just for changing the energy. Don't forget, you can release all the negative things, but you can also release love. Focus on that as well. Release that beautiful love, the essence of who you are, all the things that you see in life that are beautiful. Start sharing that, you know, just start spreading that out, start releasing that out into the world, and see how your world changes, because we know what we put out comes back. So start to see how that vision, that visualization, that energy that you want to see in your life, start to see how that changes. I mean, Lesia has been very kind to share her journey, and that journey is the same for every single one of us. When we're doing what we love to do, you know, things start to show up differently. So start to focus on that this week. And right now, we'll let the amazing Pierre sing us out with a nice little ditty. Take it away, Pierre.
Okay. Woke up cold one Tuesday, looking tired and I'm feeling quite sick. I felt like there was something missing in my day-to-day life. So I quickly opened the wardrobe, pulled out some jeans and a t-shirt that seemed clean, topped it up with a pair of old shoes that were ripped around the seams. And I thought, these shoes just don't suit me. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting. Short of money, but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine and running late. I don't need an excuse, 'cause I'm wearing my brand new shoes. Woke up late one Thursday, I'm seeing stars as I'm rubbing my eyes, and I felt like there was 2 days missing as I focused on the time. And I made my way to the kitchen, but I had to stop from the shock of what I found. A room full of all of my friends all dancing round and round. And I thought, hello new shoes, bye-bye blues. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting. Short on money but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late, but I don't need an excuse, 'cause I'm wearing my brand new shoes. Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, they take me on. I'm walking till the break of dawn. Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, they take me on. Walking till the break of dawn. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting. Short on money but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late, but I don't need an excuse, 'cause I'm wearing my brand new shoes. Hey, yeah, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. Hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting. Short on money but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late and I don't need an excuse, 'cause I'm wearing my brand new shoes.
Awesome, everybody. Thank you, Pierre. I love that song. It's been so long since I've heard it. Everybody, go out into the world, put on your new shoes. Put your new shoes on. Go release love, joy, peace into the world. Release everything that doesn't serve you, and have a terrific week. Namaste, everybody. Thank you for joining us.